This is not a drill. Negative 22 degrees in Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, negative 18 in Utqiagvik, but here's what should terrify you. That same Arctic air mass is about to bulldoze through the lower 48 states, and some major cities are going to see temperatures they haven't experienced in over a decade. I am talking about record-breaking cold that will shut down infrastructure, freeze pipes, and create life-threatening conditions for millions of people. If you think winter is winding down because we are in February, you need to hear what I am about to tell you in the next 20 minutes because this could be the most dangerous cold outbreak of the entire season. Stop scrolling right now and drop your location in the comments. I am not asking nicely, I am demanding it because tonight I am going through every single comment and building a custom forecast map for tomorrow's video based on exactly where you are. Your neighbors are already commenting. Don T. be the one who misses out on critical information that could protect your family and your property. City and state. Drop it now. Here's your payoff for stopping. Bemidji, Minnesota, negative 6 degrees this morning. International Falls, negative 3. Fargo, 2 degrees above zero. Grand Forks, North Dakota, negative 2. Moorhead, Minnesota, 2 degrees. Plattsburgh, New York, 5 degrees. Lake Placid, 1 degree above zero. But wait, it gets worse. Chicago currently sitting at 26 degrees with snow already falling. Detroit 23, Cleveland 22, Pittsburgh 25. And here's the kicker that meteorologists aren't emphasizing enough. This isn't the worst of it. What is coming on February 7th makes today look mild. Florida is experiencing something almost unprecedented. Freeze warnings covering nearly the entire peninsula. I need you to understand what this means. Orlando, 45 degrees, Tampa, 44 degrees, Miami, 51 degrees. These are overnight lows that haven't been seen in years. Wind chills in the 20s across the Nature Coast. It's literally colder in parts of Florida right now than in Montana. Let that sink in. Montana. We talking about a state known for brutal winters, and Florida is beating them in the cold department. But here is what nobody is talking about. While everyone focused on this current cold snap, there's a sneaky, dangerous snow system developing that's going to blindside commuters from Missouri to Maryland. This isn't going to make national headlines like a blizzard would. This is worse because it's the kind of storm that catches people off guard. You're going to wake up Tuesday morning thinking it's just another cold day, and by 3 p.m., you are going to be stuck in gridlock on snow-covered highways, wondering why nobody warned you. Well, I am warning you right now. Let me explain the meteorology so you understand why this is happening and why it's going to get worse before it gets better. We've got what's called a persistent upper-level trough locked over the eastern United States. Think of it like a giant dip in the jet stream that's stuck in place like a scratched record. This dip is allowing Arctic air to pour down from Canada like water through a funnel. Meanwhile, out west, we've got residual ridging, a bubble of high pressure that's keeping the west coast relatively mild. This pattern has been locked in for weeks, and it's about to intensify. Here's where it gets technical but critically important. The upper-level winds are spreading apart over the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes. When that happens, air rushes upward to fill the void, and that rising air creates storms. So we've got Arctic air flooding south. We've got rising air creating precipitation, and the result is snow. But the timing and the track of this system is what makes it particularly nasty. This is hitting during Tuesday afternoon rush hour in multiple major metropolitan areas. The European model and the American GFS model are in rare agreement on the overall pattern. When both models agree, confidence is high, but there is still uncertainty about exactly where the heaviest snow band sets up. A shift of 50 miles either direction changes everything for cities like Indianapolis, Cincinnati, and Columbus. That's why I need to see overnight model runs before I can give you the final forecast. But here's what I know right now with high confidence. Just like I promised at the beginning, here's your city-by-city breakdown, and I am going to deliver this in a way that keeps you engaged because missing information about your city could be the difference between being prepared and being caught off guard. Aberdeen, South Dakota, you are first in line for this Arctic assault. 14 degrees right now, but that is going to feel like summer compared to what's coming. Monday night, you are going to see light snow develop. Nothing catastrophic, but enough to make roads slick. Your real problem is the sustained cold. We re-talking about high temperatures only reaching the low 20s through Thursday. That is not just cold, that's dangerous. Akron, Ohio. This is where things get interesting for you. 22 degrees and overcast right now, but you are positioned right on the northern edge of what could be a significant snow band Tuesday afternoon. I am talking about the potential for 2 to 4 inches depending on the exact track. Roads are going to go from wet to snow covered in less than an hour. The Tuesday evening commute could be a disaster. If you have the option to work from home Tuesday, take it. Albuquerque, you are the lucky one. 59 degrees with passing clouds. You are out of this mess entirely. Enjoy it. Albany, New York, 21 degrees and clear. Wednesday, you are going to get clipped by the backside of this system. Maybe a coating to an inch of snow. But the real story for you is what happens Thursday through Saturday when the next Arctic blast arrives. Single-digit temperatures are possible. We'll have more on that tomorrow. Amarillo, Texas, 57 degrees. You are in that weird middle ground where you are cold by Texas standards, but warm compared to the rest of the country. The pattern shift coming next week could change everything for you. We might be talking about severe weather potential. Way too early for specifics, but I wanted to plant that seed. Atlanta, this is critical for you. 40 degrees and clear right now. You might think you escaped the worst of this. You are wrong. Thursday morning, you are waking up to temperatures in the mid-20s. That's a hard freeze. Infrastructure in the south is not built for this. Pipes are going to burst. We re-talking about potential for widespread water damage if people don't prepare. Let those faucets drip Wednesday night. I am not joking. Bangor, Maine, 22 degrees. You are already cold and you are about to get colder. The February 7th Arctic blast is going to hit you particularly hard. I am seeing model data suggesting single-digit lows, possibly below zero in some outlying areas. This is the kind of cold that causes frostbite in minutes. Boston, 29 degrees and clear. Wednesday, you are going to see some snow mix in from this system, probably an inch or two. But here's what concerns me more. As this low-pressure system moves off the coast Wednesday evening, winds are going to crank up to 35 or even 40 miles per hour. Wind chills Wednesday night could be near zero. This is dangerous. Buffalo, 15 degrees with passing clouds. I've got 2 words for you, lake effect. After this initial system moves through Tuesday, winds shift to the northwest Wednesday through Friday. Lake Erie is going to get cranking. The southern snowbelt could see 6 to 12 inches by Friday night. This is going to be elevation and location dependent, but if you are in the typical snowbelt areas, you know what is coming. Let me jump to the Midwest where this gets absolutely brutal. Chicago, you in the crosshairs. 26 degrees with light snow already falling. This is nothing compared to what's developing for Tuesday. Morning commute. Tuesday is going to be messy with snow developing. But the Tuesday evening commute is when this becomes dangerous. Heavy snow, rapidly dropping visibility, roads going from wet to snow-packed. You could see 3 to 5 inches in the metro area. The expressways are going to be parking lots. Cincinnati, you are in the bullseye. 31 degrees and overcast right now. Tuesday afternoon between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m., this is your window for the heaviest snow. I am talking about snowfall rates of an inch per hour or more in some locations. This is the kind of event where the weather changes faster than road crews can keep up. Interstate 71, Interstate 75, they are going to be a mess. If you planning to travel Tuesday afternoon, change your plans. Cleveland, 22 degrees with light snow and ice fog already. That ice fog is a telltale sign that you've got very cold air trapped at the surface. When snow starts falling Tuesday afternoon, it's going to stick immediately. No melting, no slush, just straight to snowpack. I am worried about black ice developing underneath the fresh snow. This is a recipe for accidents. Columbus, Ohio, 24 degrees. You are on the southern edge of where the heaviest snow could set up. If this track shifts just 50 miles south, you could see 4 to 6 inches. If it shifts north, you might only get an inch. Either way, Tuesday afternoon travel is going to be impacted. Plan extra time or avoid it entirely. Moving south where preparations need to happen immediately. Charleston, South Carolina, 34 degrees. Thursday morning, upper 20s. This is hard freeze territory. Citrus damage is possible. Pipe damage is likely if people don't take precautions. This is not something the South deals with regularly, which makes it more dangerous because infrastructure and people aren't prepared for it. Charlotte, North Carolina, 32 degrees with passing clouds. You're in a tricky spot. Tuesday night, you could see precipitation, and the big question is whether it is snow, sleet, or freezing rain. Right now, it looks like a mix of all three. Wednesday morning, black ice is a major concern. Bridges and overpasses will freeze first. Dallas, 63 degrees with passing clouds. You were enjoying mild weather now, but I need you to pay attention to what's coming this weekend and early next week. The pattern is shifting dramatically. We could go from talking about cold to talking about severe thunderstorms in less than a week. I'll have more details tomorrow. Detroit, 23 degrees with light snow and ice fog. The Great Lakes are going to dominate your forecast Wednesday through Friday. After Tuesday's system moves through, we flip to northwest winds. That's the perfect setup for heavy lake effect snow. Areas southeast of the city could see significant accumulation. Denver, 46 degrees with passing clouds. You've been on the fortunate side of this pattern. That ridge parked over the Rockies has kept you relatively mild, but there are signals that next weekend a storm system could bring heavy mountain snow. Too early for amounts, but it's worth watching. Here's where the forecast gets really track-dependent. Indianapolis, 29 degrees and overcast. You are literally on the line between a coating of snow and 4 inches. Tuesday morning starts as snow. If the low-pressure system tracks 50 miles south of the current forecast, you get buried. If it tracks north, you get a dusting. The problem is, we want to know which scenario plays out until late Monday night or early Tuesday morning. What I can tell you is that travel Tuesday will be impacted regardless. Slick roads are guaranteed. Kansas City, 39 degrees and clear. Monday night into Tuesday morning, snow develops. You could see 1 to 3 inches. But here's what's more interesting for your area. By next weekend, we are looking at a potential pattern flip. Warm air surging north. And when that happens, severe weather becomes a possibility. It's way too early for specifics, but this is a dramatic change from what we've been dealing with. Louisville, Kentucky, this is critical. 34 degrees and overcast. Tuesday afternoon, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., heavy snow. This is going to hit right during the peak commute time. I am talking about visibility dropping to a quarter mile or less. Snowfall rates potentially exceeding an inch per hour in the heaviest bands. Interstate 64 and 65 are going to be treacherous. Accidents will happen. Traffic will crawl to a standstill. If you can avoid being on the roads Tuesday afternoon, do it. Memphis, 43 degrees with passing clouds. You are south of the snow, but you are not south of the consequences. Wednesday and Thursday mornings, mid-20s. This is dangerous cold for the South. Water mains can burst. Homeless populations are at risk. This is the kind of cold that kills if people aren't prepared. Miami, 51 degrees. This is remarkable for early February. You are about 15 to 20 degrees below normal. Tropical plants are stressed. Iguanas are falling out of trees because they go into a cold stun. This sounds funny, but it's a real indicator of how unusual this cold is for South Florida. Milwaukee, 23 degrees with passing clouds. Lake Michigan is going to be your storyline Wednesday through Friday. Lake effect snow bands are going to set up. Areas right along the lakeshore could see 6 to 10 inches. This is going to be very localized. Drive 10 miles inland and you might only see an inch or two. Minneapolis, 20 degrees with passing clouds. You're already deep in the Arctic freeze. The worst is yet to come. Wednesday through Friday, morning lows below 0. Afternoon highs only reaching single digits. This is life-threatening cold. Frostbite can occur in 10 minutes or less on exposed skin. This is not the weather to be a hero in. If you don't absolutely have to go outside, Don T. Nashville, 42 degrees and clear. Tuesday night into Wednesday, temperatures crater, upper 20s Wednesday morning. The ground is going to freeze solid. Any moisture on roads will flash freeze. Wednesday morning commute could be treacherous even without precipitation. New York City, 29 degrees and clear. Wednesday, you are on the northern fringe of this snow system. Maybe an inch, possibly 2. The wind is what's going to make this miserable. Wednesday afternoon, gusts to 35 miles per hour. Wind chills in the single digits. This is the kind of weather that cuts through any clothing you are wearing. Philadelphia, 27 degrees with passing clouds. Similar situation to New York. You are on the edge of the snow. 1 to 2 inches Wednesday. More concerning is Thursday morning when temperatures drop into the teens with wind chills near or below 0. This is dangerous cold for the mid-Atlantic. Phoenix, you are sitting pretty at 77 degrees with broken clouds. Enjoy being one of the few warm spots in the entire country. Pittsburgh, 25 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. You are in a particularly tricky spot. Tuesday afternoon and evening, snow develops and could be heavy. I am seeing potential for 3 to 6 inches, possibly more if this system overperforms. The evening commute is going to be a nightmare. Crashes are inevitable. If you replanning to be on the roads Tuesday evening, seriously reconsider. Portland, Oregon, 51 degrees with passing clouds. You've been benefiting from that persistent ridge over the west coast. Light rain is possible over the next few days, but nothing severe. Raleigh, North Carolina, 35 degrees and overcast. Tuesday night into Wednesday, this is where it gets complicated for you. Precipitation could start as snow, transition to sleet, then possibly freezing rain. Wednesday morning, elevated surfaces like bridges and overpasses will be sheets of ice. This is extremely dangerous. Richmond, Virginia, 25 degrees and clear. Wednesday morning, you are looking at the potential for some mixed precipitation. The bigger concern is the flash freeze Wednesday morning. Roads that are wet Tuesday night will turn to ice by Wednesday morning commute. St. Louis, 36 degrees with passing clouds. Monday night into Tuesday, snow develops. You could see 2 to 4 inches. This is going to make the Tuesday morning commute messy. Road crews will be working overtime, but accumulation is going to outpace their ability to clear roads in real time. Here's the twist that just developed in the last few hours. New model data came in this afternoon, and it is showing this Tuesday system might be stronger than previously forecast. That means snowfall totals could increase, especially along that Louisville to Cincinnati to Charleston, West Virginia corridor. We are also seeing indications that the February 7th Arctic blast could be historic. I am talking about temperatures that break records that have stood for decades in some cities. But here's what comes after, and this is actually the bigger story long term. This pattern that has been locked in place for weeks is finally going to break down around February 14th or 15th. When it does, we're going to see one of the most dramatic pattern changes in recent memory. Warm air is going to come flooding north and east. The jet stream is going to buckle. And when you get that kind of pattern change, when severe weather becomes a major concern. I am seeing strong signals for a severe weather outbreak somewhere between February 15th and February 21st. The areas to watch most closely are from Nashville west to Oklahoma City and south through Texas. Also from Little Rock to Dallas to Shreveport and down to Houston. The region that could see the most significant severe weather might be focused on San Antonio and Austin. We're talking about the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms, possibly even tornado potential. Now, I need to be very clear about this. We're talking about an event that is 10 to 15 days away. Forecast certainty at that range is low. Things will change, models will shift. But the signal is strong enough that I wanted to bring it to your attention now, so it is on your radar. This could end up being a major snow event instead, or it could be nothing. But the ingredients are coming together for something significant. Let's talk about practical impacts because this is where the rubber meets the road. Power outages are a major concern, especially in areas of Tennessee and Mississippi that still have thousands of people without power from an ice storm 2 weeks ago. If you lose power in this kind of cold, it becomes a life safety emergency within a few hours. Have a backup plan. Know where you can go if you lose heat. Travel Tuesday is going to be hazardous across a huge portion of the country. From Missouri to Maryland, road conditions are going to deteriorate rapidly during the afternoon hours. If you can avoid travel, do it. If you must travel, have an emergency kit in your car. Blankets, water, snacks, flashlight, phone charger. If you get stranded, these items could save your life. Southern states, I am talking to you specifically. Let your faucets drip Tuesday night and Wednesday night. A pencil-thin stream is all it takes to keep pipes from freezing. Know where your main water shutoff is located. If a pipe does burst, you need to be able to shut off water immediately to minimize damage. Heating systems are going to be stressed. If your furnace is old or hasn't been serviced recently, have it checked now before it fails during the coldest part of this outbreak. Change your filter. Make sure vents aren't T-blocked. Vehicle preparation matters more than people realize. Keep your gas tank at least half full. Cold weather is brutal on batteries. If your battery is more than 3 years old, have it tested. The last thing you want is to be stranded in sub-zero temperatures because your battery died. Upper Midwest, I am talking Minnesota, North Dakota, northern Wisconsin. The dangerous cold we're expecting Friday and Saturday is the kind that causes frostbite in 15 minutes or less on exposed skin. Layer your clothing. Cover all exposed skin. Limit outdoor time. This is not weather to take chances with. Citrus growers in Florida and along the Gulf Coast, you know what temperatures in the upper 20s mean for your crops. Protect what you can. This is the kind of cold that causes significant agricultural damage. Way too early for details. But after the pattern breaks down mid-month, there is potential for another system around February 18th or 19th. This could be snow for some areas, severe weather for others, or both depending on where you are. It's worth tracking, but specifics are impossible this far out. Let me summarize the timeline one more time because this is critical. Monday night into Tuesday, snow system affects Midwest and Ohio Valley. Tuesday afternoon, peak impacts from Missouri to Maryland. Wednesday, system exits, but cold air settles in. Thursday and Friday, coldest air of this event. February 7th, potentially historic Arctic blast. Mid-February, dramatic pattern change with possible severe weather to follow. Geographic scope is massive. We re-talking about the impact zone stretching from the Canadian border to the Gulf of Mexico and from the Rockies to the Atlantic Ocean. Over 100 million people are going to experience below normal temperatures over the next week. Your preparation deadlines are now. Tonight and tomorrow for the Tuesday snow. Get groceries, gas up your car, charge all your devices. Tuesday night for extreme cold preparation. Protect pipes, check heating systems, bring pets inside, stock up on firewood if you use it. Tomorrow's update is going to be critical. I'll have refined snowfall forecasts with overnight model data. Temperature forecasts will be adjusted as we get better handle on the Arctic air mass. The February 7th blast will have more specific timing and intensity information, and I'll have preliminary details on that pattern change and what it could mean for severe weather. I am going live tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, possibly earlier if we see major overnight changes. Model data could shift dramatically. Track adjustments are possible. You need this information before you start your day. Check on vulnerable people, elderly neighbors, anyone without reliable heat, homeless populations. This is dangerous weather for people who aren't prepared or who don't have resources. Drop your city one more time in the comments right now. I am spending tonight building a custom forecast map based on your locations for tomorrow's video. I am not here to panic you. I am here to prepare you. This is serious weather with serious consequences. The combination of heavy snow during rush hour and dangerous cold in areas where infrastructure can handle it creates real problems. But if you re-prepared, you can get through this safely. Tomorrow's update will have critical track information. Snow totals could change. The February 7th timeline will firm up. You cannot afford to miss it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on notifications. If models shift dramatically overnight, I might post earlier than 8 a.m. You want to know immediately. Stay safe out there. Stay warm, and thank you for being here. This community takes weather seriously, and that's exactly the kind of audience I want to serve. I'll see you tomorrow morning with updated information.